How's it going, everyone? My name is Lee Genocide, and today I want to talk a little bit about something that frustrates me, and that thing is hype. When I say hype, I kind of mean overhype. I don't necessarily mean small things like kind of what's building for maybe the next summer blockbuster, which now we're kind of done with summer for this year as far as I know. I guess there's still summer blockbusters coming, but kind of like the huge ones. I mean, sometimes they are movies. I can think of one very keenly. Not keenly. Keenly. I think that might be the correct way of saying it. I don't even know if is that a word? Keenly? Definitely a word. Anyways, got derailed. What the big one I want to talk about that I dislike so much is Avatar. If you remember James Cameron's Avatar, not The Last Airbender. But there was so much hype for that film and for him that I don't like it. It set so many expectations, and I could see what the movie was, and the trailers never caught me as something so new, something that was raising the bar as it was claimed to do, because I felt like I've seen that before. It wasn't entirely new. When super original, I get James Cameron, all that stuff. When it comes down to it, when I finally watched the movie, and I'll say this, I watched it in standard definition because it's the TV we had, and I think what it is that movie, when it comes down to it, at its core, is more about it's more about the visuals than it is about the story, the characters. But if you recall, and it's been a while, maybe even still now, you might know someone who thinks that movie is just the shit. Well, I think actually it's okay. It's not great. In fact, I didn't even think it was a good movie. I didn't necessarily think it was bad. The story was weak and done before. In fact, it was Ferngully or Pocahontas, whichever you like to say, or kind of any underdog story. When you think about it, it even happened in the last Star Wars movie. By that I mean Episode 6. The Ewoks defeat the Empire, because that's what it is. It's an underdeveloped race defeating the developed race, and it's that story that we love, but it is very old, not original, and it's just because of that. I kind of grew I hated that movie because of that. I thought a lot worse of it than I actually did. Now I see it as just an okay movie. I probably won't watch it again, because if I do, though, watch Avatar, I'd just watch it for better picture quality. But I didn't really like the movie. At the same time, it didn't, I don't know, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen by far, but it's nowhere in my top 10 or anything like that. But, it's just an Avatar review. It'd be kind of pointless, wouldn't it? Anyways, another thing I'm thinking of, it's kind of relating to this whole flame war between the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 argument I see as to why, like, people say, well, why is PlayStation so good? And they say, PlayStation's so good because of games like The Last of Us. There's a lot of hype for The Last of Us, and I've not played it because I don't have a PlayStation, but I am watching a Let's Play of it, and it does look phenomenal. In fact, if I can't really think of many games this year that seem as good as that, and I'll be honest, I didn't play a whole lot of this year releases, and if I did, I can't really remember one. So I think, we'll just have to see, because there are some games coming out later that look pretty good. Like I see Grand Theft Auto 5. It's been a while since I played Grand Theft Auto, but it looks great. It really does. And then Watch Dogs looks pretty good. Trying to think what else. Destiny, I don't think would win Game of the Year, but it looks pretty good. So I imagine, I want to say this real quick, just as a side note. For Game of the Year this year, I'm going to say it's probably going to go up between, at least these are going to be nominated for most of them. It's going to be The Last of Us, Watch Dogs, because it looks great, and what was the other thing I said? Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, I feel like those will probably be definitely games that are in it, and from where I'm looking right now, I'd give it's probably going to be The Last of Us or Watch Dogs, kind of, just from what I've seen, which says a lot since we're halfway done with the year, and I feel like there's already a huge contender, but I haven't played it, of course, so I'm just going off, from what I've seen. Also, it's somewhat affected by who I'm watching play it and stuff, so it's not quite the full experience, but anyways, that's one, that's another example of hype that game is good, but I think it's, I've not seen any of the multiplayer, of course, but it feels like people think it's way too good. I don't think it's one of the best games ever. And another thing I want to say, Half-Life. Granted, I didn't really play Half-Life 2, but they also contribute the Half-Life series as an amazing whole, and Half-Life, the original, was alright. It doesn't deserve to still be one of the greatest games, though. There are many games better than it now. There are games before it that were better. It was a good game for its time, but doesn't hold up entirely well. Doesn't hold up the worst at all. Like I said, I'd say if you can play the original Halo, you can easily play Half-Life. And it came out before Halo, so it means something. But anyways, what I want to say, though, I did hop on, I guess, sort of a hype train when The Avengers was in theaters. That was good. You can say you don't like it. Maybe you're a DC person, that's why you don't like it. But I'm a Marvel person. I was hearing people talk about how amazing The Avengers were, or how was my mistake. I was thinking of The Avengers as like the characters, but not as a movie. But so I was hearing about it, and The Avengers is always cool, has always been cool to me, because it's where you really see the Marvel characters working together versus the big villains, which are neat. Even though they're fighting Loki, which is but it worked well. What was weird to me, though. Okay. Sorry, I had a big pause there because I derailed myself pretty hard. But I was hearing people talk about, like, for talking with friends and other people who have seen The Avengers, they're saying, it's a great movie. But none of the people I was talking to knew much about, should I say, The Avengers or the universe. So I didn't really care what they said, and I'm like, it's going to be another superhero movie, and it's going to be shit, because that's how they are. Most of them are shit, because there's a plot that I feel like, this goes off of should you follow it or should you not, what the comic books laid out and all that. It was a good movie, and I think it's a much better movie than it actually is because of how great of a comic book movie it is. If you're going off of comic book movies, it may be the best as far as, sticking with what they've got. Now, I don't know a lot of the deeper plots and deeper stuff behind really any of those people, but if we're talking about just that movie, they did a great job with it. But I feel like I try not to overhype things. I don't know if I ever overhyped The Avengers, because the only person I've talked to about it really that hasn't seen it is my dad, and I still said, you gotta watch The Avengers. It's great. I mean, it's a really good movie. He's a comic book person, so I feel like he'd appreciate it because of how terrible they are now. But anyways, those are just some things about hype that kind of get under my skin. I don't like the overhyping. I feel like it's enough to just say you like something and then recommend it and then shut your fucking mouth. Because, giving your opinion is an issue like that, because if you go into how amazing it is and you overhype it for someone, it might make, like what happened for me with Avatar, where the movie is actually okay and make me hate it because it didn't live up to the expectations that people have set for me. And that's another thing. I don't think we should follow people's expectations, because we should all have our individual ones and not other people's. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like, leave a comment if you have anything to add maybe, and subscribe if you want to see more. And I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.